Beyond the Steps. This is a show that we talk about all the things affecting performance athletes, anything from racism, gender inequity, sex abuse and prevention, nutrition, psychology, and more. And I am your co-host, Bree Zabrowski, co-founder and CEO of Apollo Performance. We're here with my fabulous friend and co-host, Melissa McDaniel Grisham of Turning Point Dance Creations. We've got another fantastic conversation that we're having today. We are chatting with Ragan Brown about should massage therapy be a non-negotiable part of our training programs. And we talk about a lot of things on this show. And this is kind of a newer segment for us and a newer topic to explore. And we're really excited to dive in with Ragan. So Melissa, why don't you tell our friends out there about Ragan and we'll get started.
I was so excited to talk about Ragan that I tried to get the jump on Bree to start the episode. Ragan is the owner and lead therapist of Be Your After Total Wellness. She genuinely loves massage because it allows her to pour into the care for Black women. Be Your After Total Wellness was born out of a personal journey, a story of determination and self-improvement. As the founder embarked on a remarkable 130-pound weight loss transformation. Wow. Be Your After became a mantra during her morning runs, a reminder that only competition is oneself. It sparked a realization that wellness is not limited to physical change alone, but requires a holistic, unapologetic, and consistent approach to self-care. Thus, Be Your After Total Wellness LLC was born. BYA was designed to fill the gap for Black women and athletes of color by providing customized and luxurious massage therapy and bodywork services that also nourish the mind, body, and soul. Ragan, we are so happy to have you back with us this season. I know, isn't it crazy? Like it's been a year.
I know. Hey, how are you guys doing?
So good. Thank you for being here. So the last time that you were on, we talked about the difference between massage therapy and body work, which was, I remember being very enlightened in that conversation because you really do associate the two and they're very different. We learned from the last time you were here. So I think, as we talked about, most people think of massage as an indulgence for relaxation, but you can talk about some of the more common bodywork services or therapy that go beyond the traditional Swedish massage. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Sure. So what I do here is more along the lines of a therapeutic massage. What I try to do is actually incorporate both because I feel like it maximizes your benefit that you have the foundation of relaxation, because anything that you do for your body is going to have a better, more long-standing result if you're relaxed and you're in a trusting relationship with whoever your practitioner is. Mm-hmm. But some of the things that I do here specifically are things such as cupping, which is great for inflammation, decompression, working on joints and extremities in areas that typical tactile massage isn't effective on because you can't take the pressure. Things such as percussion therapy, which would be like a massage gun. I have a vibrating foam roller for thighs, lower back, shoulders. All of these things are actually incorporated into your traditional, what you would consider traditional massage, to heighten those benefits. So all of these are things that are holistic healthcare things that you can use, but they are incorporated into the massage to give it that therapeutic effect, because you're going to get the reduction in inflammation. You're going to get the improvement to your insomnia. You're going to get a temporarily lowered blood pressure. All of these are things that are happening as a result of the massage, that people think you're just going to go in and you're going to be relaxed and you feel better, but you feel better.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So I have two questions that just came out of what you just said. So I'll start with this one. Is it helpful, or does it make a difference if you build a long-standing relationship with your massage therapist or your body work? What do we call it? Body work specialist? I don't know.
You can, as long as you don't call me a masseuse, we're good.
Got it. Okay. Masseuse is
so yes.
Taboo.
So masseuse, well, honestly, it's one of those things that only people in the industry get offended by, but technically a masseuse is the sex worker aspect of it. I'm a massage therapist. I'm a body worker. Yeah. So that's that part. But yeah, absolutely. Because here's the thing. And that's why the routine, the ritual of it is important, because your therapist will get to know your body.
Mm-hmm.
A good therapist is going to assess you. They're going to assess you physically, they're going to assess you verbally every time before every session. So I've gotten to the point with some of my clients, Melissa, who's been coming to me for years. We don't have to have a long, in depth conversation. I know I need to work on her glutes. I know I need to work on her hips, her quads, her hamstrings. These are areas that have been issues, have been concerns from day one. And as I've gotten familiar with her, as she trusts me, as I trust her, that absolutely helps because
Got
we
it.
don't have to have those in-depth conversations, and the physical, my muscle memory for her body is there, just like her muscle memory is there. So
Got it.
absolutely establishing a relationship is helpful.
Well, and it feels better when you're going into somebody every week that you, like you said, that you trust, you feel more relaxed as well. I know it's like always that awkward, when you get a new massage therapist and you go in randomly to different places, like it's that awkward
Mm-hmm.
like introduction phase that
Mm-hmm.
can
Right.
feel sort of uncomfortable at first, at least for me anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Especially when you're going in, if you are using massage as a healthcare, then
yeah,
you definitely don't want to just go to a random person, because establishing that rapport and having that history together is definitely helpful and beneficial.
yeah, and then my other question was, you mentioned, and I know we're going to talk about techniques later on in the episode, but you mentioned cupping. So for everybody out there, so this looks extremely painful to me. Like when I see people, like for anybody that is listening that doesn't know what that is, it's the when people have, like, you'll see it with Michael Phelps was like notorious for this. Like,
Give me a second, Bree.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you,
She's
but
gonna go
for
get some
those
cups.
out,
Yeah,
what's that?
she's gonna get some cups probably. There she
Oh
goes.
yeah. So for those people out there, like you see Michael Phelps or athletes like that with the big red dots all over their back and their body, and that's cupping. But I've always wondered, like, is it painful? How long does that last? Is it like, how does this happen?
She's going to show us
He's gonna. I
cups.
mean, we're full demo mode right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay. What did you just do?
I just put a cup on my shoulder.
No, but I mean, how did you get it to stay on there? What did
It's
you do?
suction.
Oh, okay. It just
It's
okay.
suction. Okay, so let's do it again. Sorry.
You don't have to heat it up or anything like that. It's okay.
No. So all I did was I did take a little bit of oil so to
Okay. Okay.
stick. I use silicone cups. I'm
Okay.
literally just squeezing it with my hand to create some suction, and I stick it. And now it's not going to stick, of course. That's
So
it.
what does it like, where are you putting these things strategically, and what does it do?
So that's where the assessment comes into place, because I'm going to go through, or your massage therapist is going to
Yeah.
go through, and they're going to assess your body. So for me, I'm going to do that assessment, and your muscles are going to tell me where the cup needs to go.
Okay.
So anywhere that I run into resistance, like it's a feeling, there's literally a feeling that I get as I'm working a person's body. And so based on what I feel, I'll know where to put the cup, and it'll stick. And if there's a problem area, if it's your shoulders, if it's your lower back areas that you have tightness, restrictions, it's going to stick firmer. It's not going to
Oh,
move as easily. So, um, so like this, I have a lot of issues with my shoulders because of the nature of my work. This isn't going to move.
wow. So then how long do you leave it on there?
So it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that you don't want to leave it on there too long, because it will you'll eventually go numb.
Oh,
But typically I move them around, but I can sit here with this on my shoulder the entire session, and it will, because of this being in the problem area, it is going to mark up, but that's not a bruise, Bree.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was my question. So it's not painful, but this is not something you'd want to go do, like if you're wearing a strapless
No.
dress or something. You don't want to go get like a
No, no. So that's the thing. Like as we get into the summer, that is a conversation that I am having with my clients. Like, hey, are you frolicking? Are you outside? Are you in shoes? Because it will leave marks.
okay.
But no, it doesn't hurt. It isn't a bruise. All this is, when you see these red marks, that just means that there is debris. There might be old blood. There might be old lymph fluid that has gotten trapped in the muscle fibers, and this is lifting those fibers apart like layers, and allowing that fluid to move out and flush out. So when you see those
Okay.
darker areas, that's an area that has more issues. So the darker that an area is, the more injury it has sustained, or
Okay.
more, whatever is going on.
Mhm.
And that's what I could feel when I did the
Got it.
assessment before I put the cup on.
So it's
But
essentially
no,
pulling those toxins to the surface and removing them from your body. So it's not necessarily circulation inflammation related. It's more toxins and
no, that's exactly what it is. It's
Mhm.
circulation and inflammation.
got it.
So
Okay.
it's going to be old blood. It's going to be lymph fluid that couldn't move because the muscle was restricted. That's what it's going to bring to the surface for you to allow your body to flush it out through motion.
Okay. See, I'm done. I learned my thing for today. This is my
Right.
thing. I've always wondered that. Can you tell? I'm like, tell me about cupping. I,
Yeah, so that's
and I'm like,
definitely something that I have to give people disclaimers about because they
sure.
do think that it's a bruise. But to be honest, the only way that I could kind of describe it to you is it's along the lines of a hickey. It is a
I
hickey.
was gonna say that. I was gonna ask that next. Yeah.
It's
So
a
it's like,
hickey. Yeah,
okay. All
it's a
right.
hickey,
Okay.
and you disperse it the same way. Well, let me tell my business, but you deal with it in the same way that you would have treated a hickey.
Yeah.
You can move it to disperse it. I mean, if it's bad enough and you got somewhere to go, you can comb it, and that'll break up
Oh,
the mark to disperse it out. But yeah, it's a hickey.
okay.
Mhm.
Got it. Thank you for that. I just
Mhm.
had a question answered. I've always wondered.
And it feels amazing. So if
You've
you're
done it? Okay. So I was gonna ask you, have you done it?
Raven will throw a cup, I'm Raven. Reagan will throw a cup on me in a heartbeat.
Okay. Okay. So you've had it done.
Move it all around.
You've been the person walking around with the circles,
Yep, that's me.
the spots.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah,
I like it. I
yeah.
Um,
like it.
I have a super quick. I know I need to move. See, now we're off on a tangent, but I have a question about this massage gun situation because you see people going to Walmart and buying those massage guns and Amazon and at their house look like they're drilling on there. Is that safe?
So here's the thing. It typically is safe if you're doing it to yourself because you're not going to do
Put the
too
pressure.
much. But there is such a thing definitely as overworking a muscle or overworking an area, um, where you over tenderize the meat. So yeah, absolutely. And most people, if you're at home using a massage gun, that's triggered because something is hurting or something is tight, and so that area can't withstand as much or
Right.
needs a different approach. So if you're just
Right.
so that's one of those things that everything needs to be strategic. You don't want to just keep it as a constant pressure. You want to move it. You want to
Hmm.
it's yeah.
You
So
should
yeah, you
have
can hurt
practice
yourself.
through this, is what I hear. Especially if you have an injury or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to be just pounding on it. You want to be, you know, hyper aware of what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, and if it's an injury, then you probably don't want to have someone else doing it because they're not going to be aware of when you need to stop.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Very
Speaking of
helpful.
injuries, massage
Hmm.
therapy and sports related injuries. Specific, I mean, and I'm going to talk specifically about dance injuries because a lot of those are pulled muscles. A lot of those are like traumatic injuries that happen while you're actually performing. Should we be using massage therapy? And my follow up question to that, question 2A, is is there a specific massage therapist that we need to look for when we're going for injury versus when we're going for just maintenance?
Right. Okay. So you in both cases, ideally, you want to go for someone who's a body worker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you will, you can definitely work on, you can definitely find a body worker who would be good for maintenance and prevention because they're going to, help you to improve your flexibility, release some of those muscles that are tightened that are dealing with repetitive action injuries, that type thing, just doing the same thing over and over, and you're getting a restriction from that. And if you have a good body worker, that's who you're going to want to stick with in the event of an injury, because they can help you on the back end and the front end. But if you are specifically, if you're already behind the fact looking for someone to help you with the injury, you don't want to go to, someone who just specializes in Swedish, or you want to find a body worker, maybe even a sports massage therapist. That would be who would be a better fit in that type of situation. But ideally, you want to have been going to someone all along, and that will have established that routine, that will establish that muscle memory and body knowledge. So in the event that you do get an injury, they're already prepared to help you work through it with the familiarity that they have with yourself already.
But I would imagine it's very much similar to like a relationship with a doctor or somebody like that, medical professional, where you're, there might be people that are qualified, but you just don't vibe with them. And it's also finding that connection to the person. I know that might sound strange, but I would imagine you have to have a good feeling about the person, right?
I will be honest with you. As a massage therapist, I don't want to work on everybody.
Okay.
And everyone isn't a good fit for me. At its core, massage therapy is absolutely energy transfer. So you want someone, if you think about it, you're laying there butt ass naked or close to it. So, you want to be comfortable. You're laying your face down. A lot of times you fall asleep. That is a very vulnerable position to be in, and you're in there alone. So that's more than I do with my doctor. Not to mention the fact that you typically are seeing your massage therapist more often than you see your doctor.
Yep.
You're typically, and a lot of times you have more time with them. When was the last time you spent an hour or 90 minutes with your doctor?
Yeah, no.
So,
maybe like over 3 years total.
Right.
Yeah, when I had a kid like in the early 2000s, I spent some time with the doctor.
Yeah.
But I mean, so yes, it's absolutely someone that you want to establish a rapport with. And as far as this space, and I was very intentional in creating a space that targets women like me, Black women, athletes of color. Everything in this space is designed to encourage that rapport, encourage that relaxation, encourage your comfort, because that increases your benefit. So it's absolutely important to find someone not only that's qualified, but that you vibe with. I mean, that's anything, because then you're not going to come in here and tell me that you haven't had any water in 3 weeks. So then you're going to be sore. You're going to hurt. You're going to have cramps because it's going to be too much. Like, you need to have a good rapport so you can be honest about what's going on, because your body will tell me, but it's better if you do.
Sure. Okay.
Be honest. Don't let Raven. Why do I keep calling you Raven today?
I don't know.
Because your name is not Raven.
Had never been.
It's never been Raven. I don't know. Reagan will tell you about yourself the minute she put your hands on your body. So you've been okay. Yes, I have. Thank you very much for telling me.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of alcohol you was drinking this weekend.
Yeah. You went out this weekend, huh? Like it's a
these muscles feel real ashy under here.
You need some water. For those of you who are just joining us, this is Beyond the Steps. I'm Melissa McDaniel Grisham, and I'm here with my co-host Bree Zabrowski, and we're talking with Ragan Brown about whether massage therapy should be a non-negotiable part of your training routine. The answer is yes. If you're trying to guess, if you want to know why, go back and watch the beginning of this episode. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube at Apollo Performance or at TP Dance Creations, as well as on Facebook. Please share this episode. It is important. It's not just an indulgence that you do because you want to relax. It can be, but there's also a good number of benefits that we've already talked about, but there's still a lot of show left. So I want to go ahead and get into the next section. What does massage therapy do for the overall mental well-being and stress management of athletes? Because I don't think a lot of people make the brain-body connection.
So this is the thing. Like, you come in for your massage. Say, for example, you come in and you get a hot stone massage. A hot stone massage has been empirically proven to put your body into parasympathetic mode, which
Hmm.
is relax, relax.
Mhm.
Um, so, as a way to start a session if you're dealing with an injury, and a lot of us are tense, um, just we can't help it, or we hold our bodies in a certain position, our shoulders are here,
Mhm.
whether we realize it or not. Putting your body into that parasympathetic mode with something as simple as starting off with hot stones is a great way to mentally ease the body, not to mention the fact that it's going to release your happy hormones.
Mhm.
You Massage drunk is a real thing.
Mhm.
I
It
would
is.
agree with you.
Massage drunk is a real thing, and so that euphoria that you feel, the lowering of your blood pressure temporarily, all of those things are just absolutely um, great mental and emotional benefits. Not to mention, like, you have destination happiness. Like, I get massaged every week, and I look forward to it. Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So the fact that you are committing to something that is good for you, is something that's also a good thing as well, because you can pat yourself on the back that as an athlete, not only are you dedicated to your craft, you're dedicated to your body and your recovery and taking care of yourself. And you should do that without guilt. And
Mhm.
once you have reached a place where you can do that without guilt, then you're winning. Because
Mhm.
especially as women, we feel like we're supposed to constantly give, 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 give until there's nothing left to give. And so this is a way to pour back into yourself and take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and like, how can you not be great with that?
Mhm.
It's got to be as big a part of your training as the actual training, because
Mhm.
if you don't rest, your body's going to make you. So you might as well do it
Yes.
strategically.
So what do you so I know quite a few people who do like I do not want a massage. I hate massages. I don't want to be touched. Is
Mhm.
that like a like how do you get because it is so beneficial for your health and mentally and physically, right? How do you overcome that or are they're just some people who are not meant to get massages? Because it sounds like everyone can benefit from it. So what do you say to those people that are like is
Don't
that like
touch
a
me.
bigger issue that they need to explore, or is it they just haven't found the right massage therapist? Like, what is it?
It could be a combination of a lot of things. To be honest, I find, especially in dealing with Black women, if I'm maybe their second massage, they may have had a terrible experience the first time. They had someone who, didn't listen to them or didn't ask any questions. It was painful. It was uncomfortable. They felt exposed or whatever the situation may have been. And so, or some people just don't like to be touched for whatever trauma they have going on in their lives. So there are people who, although anyone could benefit from touch because we all as humans need it,
Mhm.
there are people who, won't do it. But for the
Yeah.
most part, if you have a person who is open to it, um, and again, this is why so much in my space is catered towards a certain demographic, because I do see that trend where they don't feel comfortable being touched. They don't want people to see their body.
Mhm.
They don't feel, or they think it's sexual.
Mhm.
All of these misconceptions that go along with it. So in creating a very professional, ethical, relaxing, meant to elicit this feeling of calm space for these people, then you can kind of overcome some of that. But for some people, it's not going to happen, and that's okay. Um, but they would be better off.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's me. I'm like, why? Like, what?
You don't want to
I
be
mean,
Why
yeah,
not? It's so good. Like,
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, when you see people on Instagram with the slow jams and the booty rubs and all of that, I get why you have that misconception. But
sure.
if you get a professional, ethical, licensed, trained massage therapist, like, there's only good things that could come from
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is a great segue to my question about, I guess it's really called reflexology massage.
it.
Is so I've heard that through your feet you can actually impact a lot of different parts of your body, your feet and your hands, I think, through a lot of different parts of your body. Is that actually true? Like massaging the foot or the hands? Is that a more
Now,
modest option for massage or?
So reflexology is a real thing. Now, as far as the hands, to be honest, I don't know.
Mhm.
Reflexology is the modality that believes that each and every single organ in your body has a point on your foot that you can work that will improve that organ. I have
Mm.
not been trained in reflexology. I am I started massage school very foot averse.
Mm,
So
really? Are
oh
you
yeah.
serious?
Oh yeah. When I went on my tour for massage school, I told them I was like, y'all, I don't like feet.
And they were like, ma'am, what?
So yeah, so they were like, oh, you'll get through it. So of course, what they did when I started clinicals was they gave me a client who only wanted foot massages for an hour.
So you got over it real quick.
Yes, we do immersive therapy around here. So, so yeah, so yeah, I was very foot averse. So as far as going in and like doing the additional
Yeah.
training to learn reflexology, I've never gone in and done it, but it's real. It really because I've had reflexology done,
Yeah.
and it yeah, like your feet are the foundation for everything. If you get your feet together, you're good. And if your feet are messed up,
Y'all, we didn't even pay her to say that. That's not like
Right.
that.
I was
oh,
like, you just
is that a
you just
thing?
have to be like, hey, thank
Hey,
you.
everybody. I mean, we make
Yeah.
fabulous, fabulous. We always say like everything starts at your feet. You
Oh
change
yeah.
your socks, change your life, take care of your feet. It all goes up from there. So yeah, it absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
That's great. So, if you all are just joining this fabulous conversation, we're talking, this is Beyond the Steps. We're here with Melissa McDaniel Grisham, of course, myself. We're talking about all things on the show that affect performance athletes from racism to gender inequity, sex abuse and prevention, nutrition, psychology, and more. Today, we're talking with Ragan Brown about should massage therapy be a non negotiable part of our training programs? And we talk on the show a lot about all the different tools as athletes that we should have at our disposal. And it's not just one thing that gets us through, right? It's not doing one thing, it's doing multiple things as part of a routine that really take care of our bodies like the athletes that we are. That's what we talk about on this show. And that's mental, that's physical, that's nutrition, that's all the things. And today it's massage therapy. And so the answer is yes, it should. And we're talking about all the reasons why. So I encourage you to go back to the beginning of this conversation and really listen. I've learned a lot already. I've learned a lot in segment one. I could have been done right there. And I've learned big things for the day, but it's just been a really interesting conversation and really debunking some of the myths behind massage therapy, which I think is so important as well. But so the next segment, I want to talk about can massage therapy improve flexibility, range of motion, muscle elasticity? We see a lot of that. Obviously, every person is different in what their range of motion and their flexibility level is, and your body is your body, and we have to know our limits of our body, right? But can it help improve those things for
Oh,
performance?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So since the last time that I was on, in the interim, in addition to cupping, I've also started incorporating stretch. So, you see the stretch labs everywhere as a standalone service. I
Yeah.
offer that, but I also have, which I've been doing from day one, I incorporate stretch into the actual session. So, taking advantage and maximizing on the fact that you're already in here in a relaxed, you know, comfortable state, then yes, I am going to absolutely, stretch those hips. I'm going to, put my knee onto your glute and take your hip through a range of motion and things like that. And even if you don't incorporate the stretch into the massage, it's still going to improve those things
Okay.
because you're getting the work. And it's going to make you aware. It's going to improve your circulation. It's going to, your lymph fluid doesn't move on its own. You have to have the motion. So the massage will encourage that. So yes, it will absolutely improve your muscle elasticity. It'll improve your flexibility because I work from kind of a forgiveness as opposed to permission perspective. So if I have a client on my table, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, this is
Of
what we're
course.
doing
Yeah.
today. But I'm going to go ahead and move your leg up,
She is.
or or move your shoulder. And the thing about it is, in your head, you're going to be like, oh, I can't do that, or that's too much. But I'm going to take you a little bit further, which is where the routine comes into play each and every time. And you're going to see that improvement. You're going to trust your abilities. You're going to realize that you can do more. So in the interim, you'll push yourself more. You'll deepen that stretch. You'll, do things in the interim that I have shown you during your session that your body is capable of that you may have thought otherwise. So yeah, absolutely. And just having someone there, you're going to come in like, oh, it's my shoulder, and then you find out it's actually your other shoulder,
Yeah.
and we can
Okay.
work on all of that.
Yeah, I feel like people would be surprised at like where the origin of the problem is. Like you think that the pain is here, but it's really coming from somewhere else, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a common thing. And then so that's a really great segue. So how often, like what is a good routine? How often, should massage ideally be incorporated to see consistent results? I'm hearing from you that consistency is everything. So what does that routine look like realistically?
So it's all, of course, subjective. As athletes, it's going to depend on your activity level, whether you're currently injured, that type thing. Ideally, for a person who's sedentary, they need to be coming in once a month. So if you are an athlete, twice a month, if it's financially feasible for you, weekly. I get massages weekly, and I'm not. I mean, I just massage for a living. I'm not out here dancing, making it work like you guys do. But because of the wear and tear that I put on my body as a result of my job, I'm getting massages weekly. And I go to the chiropractor weekly.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it as much as you can incorporate it into your routine. But I would say, definitely if you're injured, you would want to increase the how often you're going. But once a month, every other week is ideal for someone who is active, even more often if you're dealing or nursing an injury.
Is there such a thing as too much massage therapy?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so either, but mm,
No,
I mean, you give me
no.
that every day, I'll be a happy girl. That's
Listen,
amazing.
when I was in massage school, we got massages every day. We got massages.
Makes me want to go to massage school.
I know. I mean, it cost me 19 grand.
I mean,
But I was getting massages every day, and I mean, my husband would tell you I was a much happier person. I was
I
a lot
bet.
easier to deal with routine massage, especially when it's a good massage. It's not like what he was trying to do at home to get rough on you
Yeah,
damn.
like
You
nothing
know.
worse. Like, come on, you need. I tell my husband, you need to go to massage school.
Yeah, that's just where babies come from.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It has nothing to do with body work. That's where a lot more stress comes from than anything else.
I love
Right.
it.
So I know having an experienced massage therapist is the recommendation. So doing stuff on your own is not, DIY is not
DIY.
always the way to go. But are there self massage techniques that performance athletes can perform in between? Because like you said, it's not always financially feasible to go every week, or definitely not every day for most of us. When I hit this lottery,
Right.
we can all go every day. Reagan, Bree, all of us are about to be massaged every day. But are there self massage technique that you can recommend for people for the in between time?
So I'm big on shoulder work because I have shoulder issues. There you go, Bree.
There's a
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But not doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt people.
No, it does not. It does not hurt at all. So this is a cupping mark. It's a little light. This is a cupping mark. It's just where the cup was on my shoulder. It doesn't hurt at all. It isn't a bruise, and it will disperse over time. I'm probably gonna have a darker one there because that's a more injury prone area. Um, but I'm sorry. What was the question?
we were talking about self massage techniques.
Oh,
For
oh
in
yeah.
time.
So yeah, so sorry again. I'm a real big advocate of like shoulder work, massaging your own neck, even things like doing like lymph work on yourself is
Oh,
huge.
oh,
So
oh. So what is that? So gua sha. Talk about gua sha. Is that a fad or is that legit? Because now you get all the gua sha stones, and for those that are wondering, it is a big, like a flat piece of it looks like a flat piece of rock. I'm sure it's not, but like you scrape your like where your lymph nodes are, right? Is that what it is?
mhm,
And then
yeah,
so is that a real thing, or can you
yes.
do
So
damage? I feel like there's
so
probably
gua sha is actually like super real, and it's an ancient Asian art form. So what gua sha is it is actually a stone. You can either use like jade stones, which are like the little thin green
yeah.
ones that never they're always cold.
Mhm.
You can use a jade stone, or sometimes you can. They have like ones that are metal, like surgical steel.
Mhm.
And all you do is it's flushing. So say if you feel a little puffy, or if you have like um, like your glands are swollen, the gua sha is flushing that. It's also good. The reason why it's getting so hyped now is because it's good cosmetically. It makes your face look
Okay.
firmer. It plumps up your
Yeah, because
collagen and
I
things
see
like
people
that.
do it like here and here.
Yeah, it's a poor man's facelift, because
That's
what it's going to do is increase your collagen
Mhm.
and make all of this bouncy and rosy and give
oh,
that back to you. So it's lymph with a tool. So what they're doing is they're flushing out like the lymph that's here, because you have lymph nodes right here in your face, behind your ears, in your throat.
jelly.
Um, yeah, right here in your throat, they're in your shoulders, you have lymph nodes here in your armpits, and all of those are areas that, because the lymph doesn't move on its own, it can get stagnated and backed up into the area, and this will flush it all out. So these are ways, like if you're feeling stuffy, if your
Mhm.
face is just puffy, it will flush all of that out, and it feels good too. And especially with the gua sha tools, because they're cold, it's relaxing.
These are
Um,
roller things.
yeah, they're made out of the same thing. I don't have a gua sha thing in here with me, but it looks like a bean, but it's big and metal and flat.
You can
And
like
the
dig
jade
in.
ones, yeah, they're not digging it.
Well, so like I follow this person. The reason I ask is because I follow this person on Instagram. That's why you never know if these things are real or not. That's why I'm asking. But like she like scrapes the crap out of people like all over their body, and they're like screaming, but I guess it releases all this trauma and it feels really good after. But I'm like, I don't know about
Right.
all
You're all like, oh,
so so
yeah,
let me, and this is a personal philosophy, so
okay.
you can do with it what you want.
Tell
But
me.
I don't thug it out. Like, I
Okay.
don't think you should ever be in pain. Like,
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
that's just not my jam. If I gotta hurt for it to work, I'm good. So gua
Okay.
sha, you know, when they were doing gua sha in China back in the ancient times, people weren't screaming.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, yeah, no. I mean,
But
you could lymph.
is there a wrong way to do it? Like, can you release
She's
toxins
doing it wrong.
in your body that are like can cause bigger problems, or can you
No,
do
no,
it?
no. So it's not an issue of it releasing toxins that can cause a big. It's an issue of you injuring yourself,
Mhm.
of
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
giving yourself bruises on your face, or scraping your neck up. Like, it's just it's pressure. Like, and then when you see gua sha, you see a lot of times where the area will get red,
Mhm.
because they're scraping the muscle. Um, you can scrape too much. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
these are things that you need to be trained to do. So if you have a gua sha, if you have a jade gua sha blade at home or stone at home, lymph is
Okay.
light, 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 light.
Mhm.
So your lymph is right here on the surface of your face. This is literally enough.
Mm.
Oh,
That's enough to get
okay.
your lymph moving. If you go to someone who is trained in in lymphatic massage, they're not doing this. It's light. Like, it's so light, I don't like doing it, because
Okay.
I can't keep that level of surface tension for a prolonged period of time. But it is a very light technique because your lymph is right there on the surface. So there's
Okay.
no need for you to dig deep down into your spirit to to do this. You know, you just it's a very light motion is
Okay.
sufficient. And that's actually something that they teach like breast cancer survivors
Yeah.
and all of people to do to themselves to get that fluid moving. It's light.
Okay.
Jazz
See, you all
fingers.
don't know. We had this episode just for me today, so I could ask all the questions I ever wanted to know about body work. This is for me. So,
So yeah, so gua sha, yeah, you can definitely do. I mean, that's definitely something that's helpful because
okay.
it does like it boosts the collagen in your face. It'll help it'll help get you nice and get
All
all of
right.
that
I'm gonna
together.
get a
But
guasha
you
stone. I'm
That's
gonna
what I
do it.
need.
I'm gonna do it.
light, Bree,
Light.
light.
Light. Not
Jazz
we're
fingers.
not digging into our spirits. We're just light.
No,
Ah, that is
no,
what I'm saying. Digging in
Got
your
it.
spirit. Yes.
no. Yeah, it's very light. It's very light work. And to get back to the original question, just things like just taking your arm through range of motion, you know, stretching out here, rubbing here. I'm big on this. Now, this I do hard because I just like it. But um,
Oh
can
yeah.
you see?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Is that on
So
either side of your spine? Or
yes.
okay.
So this is my spine here, and
Mhm,
Yeah.
I have my fingers on each side, and I'm
mhm.
just working down
That actually
and
ma
up.
does make a difference.
Oh yeah. And if you get here,
Mhm,
you're gonna feel little dips there. You see
mhm,
where my fingers are?
mhm.
Yeah.
And if you can get into that, roll your head around. Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay.
And roll around, get into their scalp, like
Yeah.
right in here. If you have long hair, you can pull a little bit, or well, my hair is long enough. You can pull a little bit, not crazy. Again, we're light,
Uh-huh.
because it gives you nerve stimulation.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's good for
Okay.
relieving headaches. I mean, like instantly.
Mhm.
That's good for relieving headaches. You want again to just lean into that. You'll feel the cracks and the pops. That's what I do.
Okay.
So
All
all
right.
these people who are on TikTok and Instagram using the wall and pressing again, have you seen these things like
Yes.
ways to release your
Yes,
back and that kind of stuff? Like I've tried some. They
that
seem to
works.
work.
That works. I just couldn't figure out how to show y'all how to do that on the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna go pick up any more tools, but yeah, I have like I will get on the wall and roll on my foam roller,
Mm-hmm.
like roll it on my back,
Mm-hmm.
roll on the floor with my foam roller.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest, my self care is trash if I have to do it. Like I'm big on paying somebody else. Like that's a huge component
Yeah,
of my
it's just
self
not the
care.
same. Yeah, it's not the
Well, it's not the same, and I'm not gonna do it. I mean, just to be honest, I have 1,000 cups, a massage gun, a vibrating foam roller. I got every gadget in here. I'm not gonna use it
Right. You
until I pay somebody else to do it. So that's that's the thing about it is, that's what keeps my self care happening is the fact that I'm paying somebody for it
paying
because I'm not gonna do it myself. Yeah.
right, right.
okay.
Yes, it's that accountability because I'm gonna tell you right now, before I leave, Reagan's like, so like your next appointment is on this date. Before I even get out the door in my car, I have a text message that says this is
Setting the appointment before you walk out is clutch. I mean, that is the key because
all,
that is
all the time.
accountability, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And
I
for a
like that.
long time I was trash about it. And then she got on me so bad and now I'm every month I get a massage every single month. So uh
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for that, Reagan. I appreciate it.
I do what I
Um,
can.
So with that, we want to get to homework because Reagan, you may remember that one thing we do on the show is we like to give everybody out there watching and listening something to do at home that they can see improvement in the next 7 days from now until the next show in their life, regarding whatever topic we're discussing. In this case today, it is incorporating massage therapy into your technique, especially for into your daily routine, especially as performance athletes. So what is your one piece of homework that you want to issue to everybody watching today for the week?
I want everyone to drink your water, of course, um, and and work on your feet. I don't work on your feet,
I knew it
people.
was coming.
Work on your feet. Hold on,
You know, we
I
knew it was
figured it out. All
There you
right.
go. There you go.
So with your foot
uh-huh.
here, this area, if you just take your hand and you grip into the arch of your foot
Uh-huh.
and just work from the tip of your toe to the end of your heel,
Uh-huh.
all over the surface of your foot, and you can do it on both sides too.
I'm doing it right now.
This is a game changer. You
Really?
have so much tension and issues, especially as dancers, because you typically keep your feet probably in unnatural positions. You got to release those muscles, and they're tiny. You got
Yeah.
to get in there and pull them apart. It's literally pulling them apart.
Mm.
Literally pulling them apart, people. This is it. I'm so
Okay.
glad my feet are done. So yeah. So that's what you
This is homework
that,
everyone can love. See, you're going to love this
so
homework.
yeah, so this is good if you're feeling any type of issues. You also take care of your ankles.
Ankles. I noticed my
Take
ankles.
care of your ankles. My ankles pop like firecrackers, and I've never played anything in my life, so I don't even know what's up with that.
Well, you're
But
racing.
I didn't start running till I was 35, honey.
Well, that's why your ankles pop. You was already old.
You know what? You just solved that Scooby Doo mystery. but, but yeah, take care of your foot, take care of your ankles. Right in here, like
That's
your Achilles, pinch it. Because again, same thing, there's a lot of lymph in this area. So if you're dealing with swelling, inflammation, puffy feet, if you have, um, you get that static where they're falling asleep, numbness, working on those feet, pulling those muscles apart, that makes a huge, huge difference. Feet are the thing.
I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you to get your Paula socks, people. Get
yes.
your Paula
Yes,
socks. If you got a
yes.
TikTok account, go shop on TikTok. There are some amazing deals going on TikTok. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to
Rub your
say.
feet and put your socks on.
There you go.
Yep. There it
There
is.
you go. Reagan said it. Not
Right.
not a paid
Not Bree.
statement.
Reagan said it. Not Bree.
Okay,
We
let's see.
also let's see.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
that's a
good
good
one.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so you'll see where it's red. It's a little puffy right now, and it's warm. That will
All right, we
areas
learned.
that are
I'm so excited that I got to ask all my questions about cupping today. If you have questions
so
about cupping, go back and rewatch this episode from the beginning because it is informative. We also are going to encourage you to take, of course, our Steps initiative, which is free. Was the foundation of this entire series. So it is an online course series of 5 modules that you can take at your own pace. Each module was curated by experts in each field. Our own Melissa McDaniel Grisham did the segment on racism. So I want you to check that out. It is free. There is no excuse. You can go at your own pace, share it. If you're a studio owner, a business owner, and you have a team of people that are working for you, have them take it. It is not everything you need to know, but it is resources. It is education. and it lays the foundation for you to learn more and start your journey to be more educated on topics from racism, gender inequity, sex abuse and prevention, nutrition, psychology, and dance medicine and science. So check that out. We're going to pop the link in there for you. Additionally, Ragan, I wanted you to tell people how they can contact you. I'm sure you, what area are you in and where can people find you?
I am in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can be found at beyourafter.com. Can they see the stuff under my name?
They should be able to.
Yeah, so it's right there. So Be Your After is everything. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. And it's beyourafter.com for the website. And you can also email me. Don't call me, I won't answer.
I love the honesty. I do. I love it.
It's great. It's 1990. They want their form of communication. Please don't call me.
Listen,
voicemail.
And leave a voicemail.
Do not leave a voicemail.
That's a surefire way to never talk to me.
Good to know.
Thank you so much for being here, Ragan. We really, really appreciate it. Your second. Now you are a Beyond the Steps alum. You are a veteran. You're here. Now you can't get rid of us. We will definitely be having you back soon. Thank you to everybody watching. Make sure you go back and watch this entire episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications about all of the new episodes that we have. Thank you so much, Bree, from her new location.
There. Anyway, I'm all over the place. Okay.
We are turning the show into a podcast that will be available on all of the places where you get your podcast. So please be on the lookout for that. And until next time, we hope that you continue your journey beyond the steps. See you next week.